Hello everyone, this is Kubo and this is my laundry talk. Hello everyone, this show is for my language improvement, nothing else. So I will talk whatever I want to talk, and if you like to hear what I'm thinking right now, here is where I express. Okay, so today I'm talking about overthinking. First of all, I would say I am overthinker. I tend to think a lot, like before saying anything. I try to process in my head and put it out. I'm more specifically talking about if there is any disturb happening in my head, and when I want to express those situation, rather than like saying in that moment, I tend to hold it back and just think and put it out. And you know, at some point I do believe that when I face a situation that's very upsetting, and when I feel any sort of emotion like sad or anger, I'm glad that I'm not so reactive about it, because like those can go wrong very badly. But at the same time, when you overthink, you could easily get in a negative spiral that you cannot get out easily, and you get in a headspace that you cannot even work, and that's not good. So yeah, anyway, so I would like to talk about overthink and how I think about those things. So first of all, I just got a job offer. Thank you. I've been trying to get a new job, and I wasn't quite happy with my current state with my current company. So I'm so glad that I got this opportunity. I mean, it's gonna be a fairly big pay cut, so I would keep looking, but I don't have to be as desperate as I was just, you know, a few days ago. And yeah, and also just like going through a lot of interviews, that's trained me well in a situation. Like, job interview is very specific, or you need to be able to sell yourself. Whether you are applying for sales job or else, you just need to be able to show how capable you are. And I have tendency to struggle, and I would say I've been avoiding facing my insecurity, but probably now is a time for me to, you know, do a lot of trial and error, and I do believe that my next job will allow me to do that. Like, I will have good amount of time to spend on those, and yeah, I'm quite excited about it. But at the same time, I was actually overthinking about situations, especially like about the pay cut I'm facing, and I will tell you what was going on in my head. So I've got a job offer, and schedule is not Monday to Friday. It's Sunday and 1 day off during the week. And also pay wise, it's gonna be like almost like a 30%, 25% drop. And it's big. It's definitely big, especially like current economy, and I wouldn't be able to sustain what I'm doing every day, right? I cannot eat out as often. I just cannot be ridiculous about what I will purchase. And like a previous job, I tried, but I didn't have to. I could just do, like, maybe I couldn't have bigger savings if I kept doing that lifestyle, but still I could survive without any problems. But now, since I took this job, I would have to care about those things. And once you start overthinking, you start including much more negative perspectives, such as day off, it's gonna be during the week, and I have partner, so it's gonna be harder for us to set a schedule. We used to have Sunday off together, but not anymore. And also, my financial status affect to our relationship, and I was just worried about how this will affect to our relationship. And then once I start thinking about more and more, a lot of negative parts coming back. Oh, what if my boss react to it very badly, or my clients will be sad? And like, once you start focusing those stuff, like, you can think of negative components like endlessly. Like, you are in a spiral, right? And even though, like, okay, as an overthinker, I even recognize those situations, like, oh yeah, I'm spiraling right now. I am definitely focusing on negatives, and try my best to get back in my positive spiral, like positive emotion. But it's not always hard to get back. And even though the situation, like, I actually took that job for my well-being, like, I would be happier there, and that's for sure. But somehow it gets really hard to focus on those positive attributes. If that makes sense. And yeah, that happened yesterday, and I was probably nervous about sending my resignation letter to my employer as well, and yeah. And worst part is, like, once you start thinking about relationship, like, it starts getting bigger, and like somehow it transforms to frustration towards my partner, which isn't fair. And then, okay, it's not fair, why am I thinking that way, and start criticizing myself, and it gets in a deeper sad state. And you realize, oh, again, like, I'm going down there, so why can't I be happy? I want to get back to happier side, and like, why am I doing this? And spiral again. It just goes down and down and down, and it is scary. I shouldn't start my new role like that, and it's just not ideal, right? And then, but your spiral is something as an overthinker, that could happen quite often, and that's probably the worst part of overthink. And additionally, once you start including someone else's reaction, emotion, like, oh, what if my clients, what if my boss, what if my partner, what if other people think that way, and like, I gotta remember that like all those other people's emotions is not my responsibility and not within my control. So even trying to understand or trying to guess what they will think, it's just a useless moment, right? But when you're overthinking in a spiral, all you can think of just negative reactions from others and just gets in a spiral. And yeah, like, you know, I'm in a great state right now. I feel great, and then I could think like that, like, oh, I can separate those things. But when you are in that stage, like, oh, it's hard. It's really hard to just separate those factors. Yeah, that's what I went through. I mean, my partner helped me a lot to get back in the right path, and of course I was complaining like what you know, we don't have to fight about it, but I was talking about like, okay, this is my spiral moment, but this is how I think, and I'm afraid of my change will affect our relationship badly. And yeah, my partner said like, oh no, like I think A and I think B and I think B, so it's not gonna be a problem. And that's how I actually get back to the positive spiral. Like, okay, we're gonna be fine, and why do I care about too much about my current employer? It's done. And yeah, now I see those stuff, and again, at the end of the day, balance is very important. Like, you don't want to be too careless, and like when you talk about stuff, like you try not to offend anyone, right? And at least try to be nice in your stage. And but at the end of the day, what other people think will be out of my responsibility, and there's no need to think about those things. And yeah, I try that way, and I couldn't do it yesterday, but maybe I can try to do that tomorrow. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Bye now.